What's up, world? It's your boy, Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker. Hey, just checking in with you guys late night. Got some people coming on here shortly. We just want to talk about tonight's game. And so man, the game at the Coliseum, it was special. It was a special day. And so we just wanted to come on real quick and do Talking Hoops in the Sip. I'm your boy, Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker. I need you guys to share. Do me a favor if you're on the live Twitter. I mean, if you're on the I'm trying to get myself together a little bit. I apologize. But if you are on the live chat, that's what I need. Go ahead and jump on. I'm trying to get the chatters. We want to get to your questions today. And so we got we're gonna have a couple special guests. And so I'm excited about that. Let me know where you're listening from. Do me a favor and let me know where you guys are listening from. And if you want to jump on yourself, inbox me and we'll try to get you on as well. Hit me on my Twitter and we'll try to get you in if you got some questions. If you want to jump in on that, we ain't here to call no, this ain't a this ain't a I know y'all probably thinking, what are you doing, EB? I'm trying to get everybody on that want to come on. That's what I'm doing. But hit me up on the had to get everything together. I apologize. A lot of big time games today. Get all the MHSA stuff. We had the Raymond Lanier game. We had the Choctaw Central Pontotoc. We had the Biggersville Ingomar and the Ingomar West Lowndes. So, I mean, we had some huge games tonight. And so I got the stats. I got everything that you want. Here comes my guy, Talante. And what up, T-Well? We already live, man. I'm just trying to get all my stats and stuff together.
You must want to take the pictures.
Huh?
You must want to take the pictures.
What you mean?
The pictures of the stat sheets.
No, I got the stats.
Oh, somebody did them today.
They did them, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We got we got you. We got you. We ain't guessing today.
We official.
We official today. And the guy said he had been wanting to come, but they just told him to come for.
They probably don't want to pay him.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but that was, that's you said it. I didn't.
Hey.
So wrong link. I sent the wrong link to my man. But you were watching. Did you watch all the games today, Talante, or how many did you watch today?
I just had watched the first half of the West Lions game.
That's all the one you saw today?
Yeah, then I had, you know what I'm saying, I had a meeting, then I went to the baseball game. So
you working today, huh?
Working.
Yeah.
Working. But tomorrow I'll be there for the 2-5A games, and then Saturday I'll be there all day. So we're gonna get it right.
We're gonna have a great Talante Weber in there. You know what? I gotta look at what, and I haven't done this. I said I was, but I got to look at our record so far, on our prediction.
I'm done for. Well, only in 4A. In 4A, I'm done for. Then like 5A, I think everybody got it wrong with Callaway. But other than that, when we went back and redid it, you know what I'm saying, I had Lake Comerant, Holmes County on the final. So
did you have Holmes County? You had them beating Forest Hill?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so now you want to get that type of energy. Absolutely. I mean,
but you got to think, I had Vicksburg beating Forest Hill too. I had Vicksburg beating Holmes County, but I had Vicksburg versus Callaway in the finals from the beginning, when we first predicted it. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Okay, so I believed in Forest Hill. So, but you wanted Forest Hill believe.
You believed in Lanier too, and we didn't.
Yeah, they got it done, man. But I don't want to skip. I'm gonna wait till anything else going on in the world of sports before we jump into this. I know Blake is getting ready to come on, and then Shoes is gonna come on here shortly, I'm sure.
Shoes was there all day too?
Most of the day, yes, he was.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, if it was in Starkville, you know what I'm saying, I just cruise on down. I would have cruised on down tomorrow. I would have cruised on down today too. I probably just would have, I would have skipped the baseball game and came on over. But Jackson was too far.
Yeah, I understand. What baseball game were you at?
Aberdeen versus Houston.
Who won?
Houston.
Oh, Houston. We got Houston winning today. What was the score?
Houston. Oh, man.
Okay. Welcome, Blake Levine, my guy.
What's up?
Hey, Blake is, Talante, Blake is, he's a young guy, but he wants to get his beauty sleep. So, I mean, we.
Why did I join this if you were just going to talk trash?
Hey, but Talante had already said it too. Yesterday, man, I was going to come on, but Blake, I was so tired. I didn't do it yesterday. I got home. I pulled a Blake Levine. I was dog tired, Blake.
I ain't gonna play. Hey, I couldn't do it yesterday either. I was standing 30 yesterday. It was over with.
Oh, well, before we start talking basketball, Kayla says that you're not doing so hot right now.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Oh, yes. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. The that's what we have, the connection there. That's right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we get Kayla on the show? That would be so special.
He's a great personality.
Yeah, why can't we do that? I mean, that would be.
Hey, you can put on here this weekend. I'll tell her to get on there.
Okay, cool. That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Hey, well, let's jump in. With Shoes to jump in a minute. Ingomar, Blake, were you at the Ingomar West Lounge or not?
No, I was following you guys talking about it.
Okay, you saw a little bit of that, right, Talante?
Yeah, I did. I seen the first half.
Well, here it is, man. Ultimately, it was the Macy Pfeiffer show. I mean, 29 points. She was 10 for 17 from the field. Great thing, guys. We have stats. Bingo. Yes, we ain't got to guess no more. And I wish I knew my man's name. I would give him a shout out. God, he works over at Jackson Prep. So I don't have his card with me. I would definitely give him a shout out. And he does a phenomenal job.
He's keeping it easy for you today, you know.
Oh man, it was cool. And you know what? There was a couple times that I had something different than him, and I said, "You may want to check this out." He checked it out. He was cool. He didn't have a ego like, "Man, I got this right." He just went on and said, "Oh, you know what? You were right about that." And it was just so easy to work with. He walked the stats down to the media
at halftime too.
Yeah, and I actually started getting them for the group because he was so positive and just so easy to work with, man. I shout out to him, man. I wish I'm just devastated. I don't know his name right now.
How the media section is it packed?
Packed till when you get there, you can forget it. I'm just being honest. The time you get there, it's gonna be like it's the state championship. And I got there today at 12:30, Blake. And you know where I normally sit, Blake? Walker was there. I call him Walker, Texas Ranger now.
Is that your disciple that was sitting next to you today?
Yeah, that was my new guy.
Yeah, you were grooming him.
Yeah. But you know what? It's funny, Blake. He reminds me of you, man. Y'all know the gang. He's a sophomore at Ole Miss. I was like, wow. I mean, it was like y'all, you know how you young guys are trying to teach the old guy stuff. He was teaching me stuff. So that was, it was crazy, but it was funny because I was like, I'm sitting by Blake Jr. here because he's younger than you. So he's got to be Blake Jr. But it was a great atmosphere all day. Ingomar, West Lowndes girls. It was a game I thought Ingomar would win handily. They started out, they were up 13-6. They won the first quarter 13-6. And then it was 18-18 in the second. And then West Lowndes actually won that pivotal third, 16-9. And that's where the game was like, oh, we got us a ball game. And so, but Macy Pfeiffer, the 8th grader, it was too much Macy Pfeiffer. She had 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks. And really, she might have had they might have missed a block or two. She might have had 4 blocks, but she dominated the game every time that West Lowndes made a run or something like a run. Macy Pfeiffer would hit a layup. She would block a shot. She would, do something like that. And so, shout out to Corey Isaac. He's watching Daniel Green. He said, Corey Isaac said today was the best day for games. But anyway, Pfeiffer. And then
it's championship Thursday, man.
It's championship Thursday. Tadeja Hood had 22 to try to keep.
She played pretty good today.
Yeah, she did. She had 22 points. She played all 32 minutes, 7 for 18, 8 for 10 from the free throw line. So it was one of those games where they turned Ingomar over. Ingomar had 16 turnovers. That pressure, I just didn't feel like they started to pressure soon enough. Like for me, I would have been pressuring Ingomar as soon as they got off the bus. We pressing. Number 2, Avery Sanders hit some big shots. She had 11. Very nice little small point guard.
She's fast. She fast.
Yeah, she is. She sits down on defense.
Yeah.
And we can always critique, different things, but if I had to give a crowd of the day, fan base of the day, it might be Ingomar. Ingomar came in that all blue. Would you agree with that, Blake? They were.
Yeah, they're great on social media too. If you follow them,
man, they were like.
You should have seen them. You should have seen them last year at Ole Miss. It was packed.
I was there last year for the boys when they hit the game winner. It went nuts.
Yeah, it was packed in that last year too. So.
Yeah,
and here's the thing. Switching, going to the boys, Zach Sugars was getting ready to be back-to-back game winners. And here's the thing, I'll tell you about it. I wasn't there I was only there for 3 seconds of the game. The last 3 seconds.
What you talking about the Ingomar game?
Yes.
Oh man, come on now. How you
I
miss
did
that?
the whole second half.
You know what? Ingomar Biggersville, I'm just gonna tell you, I was still, I went and got something to eat, and I said, I'm gonna come back, check it out. But what happened was, it was in my 3 to 4 o'clock nap time. Can everybody touch their neighbor and just say nap time? And so what happened was, I got back in the van, in the parking lot, and I said, let me close my eyes for about 5 to 10 minutes. And when I opened my eyes, I looked on Twitter and I saw it was halftime. Then I said, let me do a little bit. You know how you hit snooze?
Oh no, man. You should have got the van ASAP when you seen it was halftime.
I said, no, I got a little bit more time. And so what I did was, I went on and went back to sleep. And then the next time I heard anything, it was like, well, I said, and I looked and I said, oh, it's close. Now let me jump in. And when I got in, the score was 46-44 with no time on the clock. I said, oh man, it's over. But then they said, no, it's 3 seconds. So here I get out my phone. I said, I came at the perfect time, push video, but didn't push, you know how you push it on your phone and it goes to video? And I thought I saw that I had it all the way and hadn't pushed video to catch the game winner. But I was right there. I was like right there. You know, Ingomar went from an incredible high to incredible low. It was, I mean, Blake, what did you see?
I saw a great fourth quarter, a great last 3 minutes. I mean, because you missed the whole lead up to those last two shots where, well, Biggersville, I believe, was up 44-30.
Okay.
No, 42-28.
Well, the biggest lead they said was Biggersville high by 12. So that was
right.
The biggest lead.
So Ingomar went on a 16-12 run in about 3 minutes to go up 2. 16-12. Because they were up, because it was 42-28. No, 42-30. 42-30. Because it was 12
16-2 run. 16-2, you mean?
Yeah. To go up 2.
Okay, gotcha.
So they 16-12.
Yeah, I was like, well, they would have won by, it's a little tired.
Past my bet. Okay, so 16-2 run to go up. And that's why Ingomar was going nuts. They were out of that game. I mean, I was sitting next to the guy at the Clarendon Ledger, and we were talking. We are like, oh, it's so nice. This game's going to get over early, blah, blah, blah. Biggersville, man, they outplayed them. And then all of a sudden we're standing because we're getting hyped with the crowd. And they go on that 16-2 run. The kid hits the shot, the same kid that hit the shot last year to win it, who's a dandy dozen in 1A. And you think to yourself, well, they pulled it off. And then they throw that deep pass. The kids, I mean, do you think he stepped out of bounds?
I mean, on the video they put on Twitter, I mean, he was
stepped out.
He was out.
Yeah, he was out of bounds. And, because our first question, what our first question was it a 2 or a 3? Because the angle we had, the video we had, it looked like the foot was blurred over the line. And we're like, oh, so he hit a 2. But then we've ended up finding out it was a 3, and that was a legit call. But he was out of bounds. I hate to take that away from the kids because the ref was out of position because they threw the ball over the whole play's head. If you think about it, right? Because the ref is as deep as the deepest person, maybe a step deeper, right? Delonte, I mean, is that where a ref's supposed to be?
Honestly, with a 3-man, he should have been on the baseline anyway.
Do you think he should have been at the other baseline?
He should have been at the other baseline. Yeah, he should have been there from the jump.
And Blake.
Yeah.
I saw a still picture. It showed the picture where the kid's foot was on the line and the ref was on the baseline. He was right.
So he was on.
He was on the
He
baseline. He just missed the call.
He just missed the call.
But granted, in a place like that, game get tight. It was easy. He could have missed it. You know what I'm saying?
And I think
he could have missed it.
To be honest with you, it was a bang bang play.
Yeah, he could have missed
it. And I could see how he missed it. And I would have not wanted him to make that call because that would have determined the game. I really
because granted, I'm thinking he probably was looking at the he probably didn't even look at the feet. He was looking more so at the body and tipping it back in to see if he was going to hit it off somebody. That's really what he was looking at.
So
he wasn't looking at the foot.
Tough games, right?
Yeah, he probably wasn't even looking at his foot. You know.
Well, I'm saying
you
ref game, right? So my question, and I would like to hear an honest answer because I've never really asked this. Do you ever get into the moment of the game and sometimes forget your technique?
No.
Okay, no. But have you seen guys kind of lose control of their fundamentals because the moment of the game gets tight and just like a player, they kind of lose their thought process?
Not in the game that big, no. Because everybody, once you get there, those are pretty much the best
refs.
Yeah, those not really the best sometimes, but the better. So they've been calling those games probably for the past 15 years. So I'm not gonna say they forgot their technique, and I'm not gonna say they probably get caught in the game because that late in the game, you pretty much know they're going for it. They probably going to win. So you pretty much locked in, trying to get the best call that you can get.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I think that they.
Well, what about the 3 seconds though? Because everybody can complain about the clock, and I know from watching it on the live, it looks like a long time because somebody had another steal shot where it said when the dude called timeout, it said 1.7 seconds.
Now, somebody told me that too.
I seen the picture. The picture was legit. So, what's going on with that? Yeah, I was in there. I wasn't there, so you know what I'm saying.
So I guess my question is should there be replay at the end of the game since they have the TV anyways?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but I don't think they should have it for the semifinals. I think they should just do it for the finals.
I think they should do it the Final Four because the semifinals, you could lose a game, you couldn't even get to the finals. I think.
Okay.
Those are big games. You know what I'm saying? Those are big games.
I think the problem is for the Final Four is they have so many games. They just don't want it to start overlapping. And then the final game, instead of starting at, 7:30 or 8 p.m., it ends up starting at 9.
No. That's
I think
no, Blake, that's you. Nobody else.
No.
Blake, AKA, I don't want overtime.
No, I don't. No, I love going home. No, I love being there, but at the same time, let's get the games on schedule. These games should not be 2 hours long. The Lanier.
Hey, this is a championship. We don't care how long we're in there. We want to stay in there.
I'm like Stephen A. Smith when he wants LA, Miami in the finals, because he wants to travel there.
Right. Well, like I said, Cam Smith hit the biggest shot of his life.
No, it was a big shot.
Hats off to Ingomar. There, when you get to this far, you're, and I know nobody likes to hear this, but you're champions. You're not the champion, but you are a champion. That's the difference. You got in the championship game. So you're not the champion, but you're a champion. And so, to finish runner up is a big, that's an accomplishment to get there. So, so you don't want, you want to have.
Like I tweeted, it was ironic that they lose the game the same way that they won last year at the buzzer.
Right, 100%.
Wow. Yeah.
That was crazy. I just thought that was super crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you thought the kid hit it back-to-back years. That would have been even more nuts to me.
That would have been crazy too. That definitely would have been crazy.
Yeah. So here you go. Danny doesn't love Zach Sugars. I talked to him before the game. He is a coach's dream. Coach on the floor, tough, can play. He's a coach on the floor. He really is, and I really like him a lot. That was my first time seeing him, and he's good. He's Southwest. I think got a steal. He's a kid that every coach. He's a coach's dream, and so shout out to Coach Bender over at Southwest going up to Ingomar and stealing him.
Oh, and I gotta say, shout out to Cam Smith, 2019 Tidal Wave top 20 guy. I gotta give him a shout out. Shout out to Cam Smith for hitting the big shot. and win an MVP.
Yeah, speaking of that, Cam, 15 points tonight, 4 rebounds, 6 for 8 from the field, 2 for 2 from the three, none bigger than the third, the one he hit. Yeah, you can't argue with that. Zach Sugar ended with his career with 23 points, 10 rebounds, and played all 32 minutes. And so shout out to Zach. Tyson Smithy, the veteran, he had 10 and 5 on 5 of 11 shooting. Aiden Johnson, the shooter, the young fella, didn't get going today. He only had 4 points tonight. And so that was a big.
When I was following on Twitter, I thought Biggersville was going to blow him out. You know what I'm saying? Following you guys on Twitter earlier, I was like, dang, I'm looking at the screen like it's not even.
They were blowing him out. I
was like, man, I thought this game was going to be reversed. I'm like, they getting killed.
They were. I mean, they were. They wasn't wrong. I mean, you're right. I mean, they were getting killed.
How many did number 4 have for Biggersville?
Number 4, that is.
I can't remember his name, but I think both of them transferred. I think
there's no 4. There's no number 4. There's a number 5.
Number 5.
Brooks Brand had 16. He actually led Biggersville with 16.
Okay. I think both of those, him and Smith, transferred in this year, so it was worth the transfer.
Yeah, they were. They were. They you know, if they don't transfer in, they're not in the state championship, and they don't win the state championship. So there you go. Zay Davis had 9 today, and he's a kid that I liked the other day. Moving along. Let's go Choctaw Central, Pontotoc, another game of the day. Like, we've had some just phenomenal basketball today that was played. Choctaw Central, you know, everybody, you know, kind of came in. I thought a lot of people's favorite, you know, they were playing well. I had Pontotoc, and they were on a 23-game winning streak. I like Choctaw. I think Melanie Timms and Carly Keats are the best combo guard, you know, best 2 pair of guards in the state on the girls' side. They're right there in the top 3. I can't think of who else would be there. And Melanie Timms is just so tough. She had 22 tonight. She tried to will her team all the way back. Carly Keats had 20, and they just couldn't get it done tonight. And I think that one of the differences, Choctaw Central makes more threes than normal, and tonight they were 3 for. They shot in the second half. They were 1 for 14, 12%, and for the game they were 3 for 25. And I think that was they normally makes, you know, probably 7 to 10 threes a game, and they didn't make it tonight when it counted. On the other hand, you know, Pontotoc had they had a lead, and then I kept telling Walker, Texas Ranger, that they're gonna come back. I kept saying they're gonna come back. They're gonna come back. Choctaw Central's gonna make a run. That's the game is made of runs, and they did. They had 2 chances at the end to actually tie the game. But shout out to Pontotoc, Kyle Hurd, assisted by Raleigh Tipler on the. You know, he assisted him tonight.
Got a ring anyway.
And yeah, and so Pontotoc, you know, arguably the hottest team in the state. 24-game winning streak. They end on a 24-game winning streak. One thing I can say about Coach Hurd, we had him on the show earlier. My guy Eddie Young, just want to say he picked somebody else early in the year, but he did pick Pontotoc this week. And I know, Talante, you picked Choctaw Central, and I think, Blake, you picked Choctaw.
I did too.
So, obviously, right now, the smartest guy on this live is me. So, but we're not gonna talk about that.
And you know, I hate I got to miss the game. I really thought the guard play would be, you know what I'm saying, will overwhelm Pontotoc with Carly Keats and at Jackson State signee. But apparently, I'm not sure how the game played. I have to go back and watch some of it to see how it went. But was it that close, or was it a blowout and they came back, or how was the game?
No, it was. Go ahead.
It was at half. No, I think Choctaw was up a couple at half, and then Pontotoc went on a ridiculous run in the third quarter.
17-4, they outscored them 17.
Right. Yeah, 17-4 in the third quarter. I mean, I'm pretty sure Choctaw was up 3, right? They were like 22-19.
That's
Am I wrong?
exactly right. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, they were up 22-19. So, I mean, Choctaw, I didn't think Choctaw played as bad as the shooting numbers say. I think what beat them the most was when number 30 and 24, I don't know their names, but when 30 and 24 started running pick and roll.
Samaya Brooks,
Yeah.
the MVP of the game, who's got about 8 Division I offers.
Right.
And then Angela Middleton, who's going to East Central, I think, Community College.
How many points did the MVP have?
She only had 10, but she had a 10 where they had to miss some rebounds because it seemed like.
But they controlled the paint. I mean, second half, third quarter, that the paint on both ends was theirs. I mean, they were, because Choctaw's center is not bad, but she couldn't handle both of those girls down there, and that's where they started killing them. And when they kind of got out running, that's when Choctaw got it back. But can I say what the most impressive thing of Choctaw was that whole game?
Talk to me.
Was what happened after the game. Did you notice what every other team did during the celebration? The team that lost, what they did during the celebration, they picked their medals up and did what? Walked off the floor. Right. Except for the team. Choctaw Central stood there in a line across the free throw line and watched the other team celebrate and get their medals, and then they walked off the floor. How impressive is that?
Wow.
For them to sit there, because every other team, right, is crying. They're and rightfully so. I don't blame a team for walking off the floor, grabbing their medal, going home. But the fact that those girls stood there and watched the celebration, I thought that was pretty impressive and a true testament to their coach and the way that those girls work. And you talk about their toughness, that's tough to me.
Yeah, it is. And, the fact that that's a great observation, Blake. Now that you say that, I go back and I do recall them doing that.
Right. They were the ones that lined up there and they watched it and they clapped and they clapped for them and everything out of a sign of respect to the other team. And I thought that was, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, that's huge. We can learn something from that. That's major because you can, and I'm not saying, and like you said, you made a great point. You didn't have to do that.
No,
I don't nothing that says you have to do that. But the fact that they did shows another level of character. And the coach, I can see he's trying to maybe say, I want you guys to experience that pain of watching them. And because that brings to a point, the challenge I have with players today, to be honest with you, I don't know if winning means a lot to them. Like if right now, if we came over and we played spades or we played checkers or we played euchre, whatever it was, I want to win. You know what I mean?
Why are you playing the game?
Right. But now it's not a thing. Kids today don't have the same sense of like winning, just everything that they do, being the best. Even in school, I was always in a class where everybody got good grades. And so if I got a 98 on a test and somebody else got 100, that was a problem. That was man, I didn't get 100, so we were just competitive in everything that we did. And so it was, and today, so for them to see that the coach, those girls are going to, and man, I just think back to Melanie Timms, how hard she played and how she
was crying on the floor afterwards.
Oh man, she wanted it so bad. I haven't, my hat's off. And I'll be honest with you, her AAU coaches had told me, because when I first saw Carly Keats, they played for Mississippi Top Prospects. And I saw both of them. I said, man, Keats, I love Keats. I thought Keats was better, to be honest with you, because I hadn't seen Timms enough. And the game I saw, Keats was better. But they told me, they said, no, Timms is the real deal. She's the one. And so I watched her again and I said, okay, and then I watched her in the semifinal. And each time I watched her, I said, that's what they were talking about. She is special. She's going to Jackson State. they're not going to keep her off the floor because she just has too much heart and she has too much desire. She's a straight up goon, a dog. She's a coach's dream. And so my hat's off. But I don't want to talk, I do want to mention a few other players on Pontotoc real quick. Michaela Boyd had 16. She had 4 threes, 4 big threes. She was 5 for 12 from the line. Angela Middleton, 11 big rebounds, 6 points, 11 rebounds. She was the one you were talking about that ran that pick and roll. I mean, she made things happen. Sky Vaughn, she had her typical, she always has you around 11 and 5. She had 5 rebounds. But I thought a person today, even though, that she had a lot of turnovers today, but and this sounds crazy because I didn't know she had this many turnovers. I'm looking at the stat sheet, was Allie Beckley. I thought number 2 was she might have been my player of the game because she, Choctaw put a lot of pressure on them and she handled that basketball. She hit some big shots. She played some very, very good defense. First time I really got a chance to see her play. Really impressed with her. I thought that she was really good today. So shout out to Pontotoc and Kyle Hurd for winning that one. That was a big one. So any other comments on that? With Talante, you didn't see it, so you can't really comment on it. But have you seen Pontotoc play this year?
Yeah, I've seen both. Yeah, I've seen Pontotoc play before.
Right. So any thoughts on them that you remember from them this year?
I know they had a really, really good team. And it seems to be like it was a team effort to win. They do have a really, really good team. Like I had said, I just thought guard play from Choctaw would probably get them over the hump, but I was wrong.
Corey Isaacs on our live said Pontotoc, their biggest lead. He said they were up 14. He remembered them being up 14. And he said Pontotoc killed them in the paint, which no question, they had no answers for that. Corey also asked this question. We'll answer his question before we get into the last game of the evening. He says, questions, do you think stall ball hurt a lot of teams today when they got a lead?
Yeah, it did. I mean, that's been since
stall ball, just like holding the ball.
Yeah, since the week started, you know what I'm saying? I think we touched on this the other night too. It kills your momentum as well as the other team, you know what I'm saying? Because you get cold. You can be hot and you get super cold. So I mean, if you're on a run, why would you stall the ball? You know what I'm saying? If you up by 10, sometimes you can stall it, but I mean, just keep it going till you go cold. Then if you go cold, then stall the ball out. But
okay, go ahead.
You keep going. You go ahead.
Here's our transition to the Lanier game. There's only one team that didn't stall the ball at the end of the game. And look what happened. They just blew it out and they kept that lead. Lanier never stopped their pressure, not once.
Yeah.
And I think that, like you said, I mean, whether it's a shot clock, which I think you agree, you want to see a shot clock, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see it, but I think it'll be tough, you know what I'm saying, being in a rural area like we are.
Right. I mean, how do you get that hooked up into every, place?
And then, some teams just aren't good enough, to be honest with you. Some teams just aren't good enough to use a shot clock. So the chance of us being probably slim to none.
Sometimes they're not good enough not to use it either. So let's Will Gray just asked that question. When are they going to put a shot clock in? Let me ask you this. I didn't see, just moving back to Biggersville. Did Biggersville stall the ball? Is that what contributed to Ingomar?
Yeah, I don't think so. I just think Ingomar just kind of I thought they played better down the stretch. I don't think it was anything more than that.
Yeah, everybody from the looks of it, everybody who watched it and who on Twitter who were there, they said Sugar just took over in the spurt.
You're right. Yeah, I didn't feel like they stalled the ball. I think Pontotoc was the team that kind of stopped playing the way that they had been playing in the third. They kind of were just swinging the ball up top, and they had killed them in the paint. And when you stall the ball, that doesn't mean you pass it from, guard to guard. I mean, you still need to throw it into the middle of the floor to your big and then transfer it to maybe the corner and around. I mean, you can't just go one back and forth. I mean, that's when someone gets trapped up top.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think that I've seen this. And again, and it's to each his own. I think you have to keep playing the way that you play to keep your lead. Me personally, I'm going to try to do that until around the 3 minutes at the max. I really, and then at that package, I start to go into, because see, I'm trying to play the game super fast. At 3 minutes, I'm going into my, okay, we're going to move the ball around and get the absolute greatest shot possible mode. That still could be a wide open three, but I might give me 5 passes before I shoot in.
No problem.
But I'm not stalling the ball because I don't think kids can hold the basketball. I think it's something that you have to practice, and I just don't believe they can do it for that long a period of time. That's my thought process. I just don't believe it.
And like in high school, I just believe it's always on most teams you're gonna at least have like 2 weak links on the court. So it's like you said, somebody gonna turn the ball over, and it's probably gonna be an unforced error most of the time.
And it's a layup the other way.
It is. It's no doubt. And the thing, when you transitioning into that Lanier game, I thought when Lanier went up, I thought there's a couple things. Lanier, as I said, when I saw Lanier early in the year beat Merle, and Merle was the team I coached last year, I told people then, I said, Lanier is legit. And as a matter of fact, when they played Callaway, I told them, I said, Lanier gonna give Callaway all they can handle. EV, you crazy. Well, Callaway did end up beating them by 14, I think. But Lanier, it wasn't the same Lanier that was in the past, that you just come and and even then you haven't, Lanier ain't been a team you just beat up on. They just had they've had some not so the greatest years in the last, few years. But shout out to Bo Clark, who's battling he's having some challenges in his body. He's been in and out of the hospital, and man, it's just, we just continue to pray for him. He's doing a lot better, I heard, to carry this team like he did. This is his team. It was his imprint. And then shout out to Raphael Anderson Red, the assistant coach, who jumped in and he looked like he belonged in the driver's seat. It's a big change to go from one seat to the next. There's a lot of people out there think they can coach, be a head coach, and they have no idea. Raphael Red Anderson proved that he could get the job done, because when you over there in that head coach, it ain't no more, oh man, I would have done this, I would have done that. Okay, what you gonna do? And he made the right call a little bit on everything tonight, and he did a great job. The 3 games or 4 games he coached in Bo Clark's absence, and Bo Clark should be proud of him. When you look at the stats, did you see it? You didn't see any of the game, huh, Talante?
I missed the whole game. I was just following it on Twitter. I was like, oh man, Raymond down by 20. I was like, sheesh.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, one thing, and then I'm gonna let Blake tell his thought process. Raymond Lanier was up 13-9 in the first quarter, and outscored them 23-10 in the second quarter. That's where they took that lead. And
I think they said Raymond was leading though, right? 6-0 at the beginning of the game.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, they were. Raymond went up 6-0. And as a matter of fact, Walker said to me beside me, he said, yeah, Raymond's going to be up 14-0 before you know it. Well, he got they did get to 6. They didn't get to 14. And basically, Lanier settled down. They had missed a few little chippies, and they kept going and kept going. And, and then they, 6-0 is not a lead. I always tell people.
Then they said Raymond kind of shot themselves out the game, shooting too many 3-pointers too. So
that when he was coming to me, that's what I was gonna say. That word for word what you just said.
Well, go ahead, Blake. Go ahead, say it.
It's one thing to miss 3-pointers against us, an average team, but when you miss 3-pointers against a team that wants to run, you're going to be in for it. And that's what happened. They didn't shoot the ball well, which happened in the first game they played, which was miss 3, fast break, layup on the other end. Miss 3, fast break, layup on the other end. I mean, it was just deja vu. over and over again. And I think I turned to the guy who you were sitting next to, and I said, it's like a 4-yard run every time. It was like they just kept just pounding away, and Raymond just had no answer for it. I mean, it was slow and methodical. I mean, I know Lanier hit a couple threes in the second half, but it was more just a layup drill of fast breaks over and over and over again. And it was just, they were all off missed threes. Some of those threes were fine shots and they just missed them. But I mean, at some point they had to try something different, and they just kept chucking them up there.
Well, speaking of that, it's interesting. I had made that observation. You made that, Blake, and I didn't even think about it like that. As we welcome my man Tricky, who's going to talk a little bit about the private school. And I know Blake's going to jump off by then because I already know you're in sign off mode. I can just,
okay.
You're coming into the end.
Yeah, but Isaac said the same thing we said. He said Raymond shot too many jumpers, long rebounds, easy baskets for Lanier. And then he asked, do you guys think the Lanier system would get a head coaching job after pretty much winning the championship? And guys don't realize it, but it was still hard for him to win the championship with a team.
Oh, 100%.
He was the head coach for,
100%.
It's different, so.
Absolutely. And well, the good thing, and here's the thing, and I want to give a shout out to Jonas James. James technically was the interim coach.
Right.
He was named interim, but he stepped aside and said his ego, and Jonas James, a state championship coach with the Lanier girls, said, no, man, this is their team. I'm going to do whatever you need. He was over there keeping stats. Here's a veteran coach that laid his ego aside. He could have easily been like, man, I'm the interim coach. Y'all gonna do what I say do. And he said, no, I'm not gonna mess up what y'all got. That is powerful. And so we want to acknowledge that, Coach James, that you did that. And he let Red, keep doing what was being done. But to go back to y'all point about the 3 points, Raymond shot 4 for 25 from the 3-point line. So you were absolutely right. And Lanier shot 5 for 8 from the 3-point line. Raymond was 8 for 12 from the free throw line. Lanier was 9 for 10 from the free throw line. So
it was a 3-pointer.
Right, but think about that. 8 3-pointers. Lanier took 8 3-pointers.
And Lanier actually turned it over 21 times to Raymond's 9. So
how did Shaw play today?
Special. Let me just tell you what he did. He's special.
He got hurt.
He got hurt. But here's what happened at the end. Yeah. Here's what he did today. And they don't have the assist right. But here's what he did, Talante. He had so many hockey assists along with just when this is what, like, I like the pressure that Raymond did. They had they eyed him. They recognized. But here's the mistake they made early on. And not only early on, whatever, they doubled him. You don't double Magic. Like, you don't. I would have what I would have done, me personally, he had 6 points. He was 3 for 4, at 6.6 rebounds. They have him for 1 assist, which is a mistake, but it's okay. I don't even look at it. Yeah, they had him for 1, but that's like I said, it's not. He didn't, I'm not gonna say he had like 10 assists. It wasn't that type of party because he only played.
So you think he had about 6 or 8?
No, really, I would say, to be honest, it was a 4 to 5 assist game with about 4 or 5 hockey assists where he made the pass to the net. I've watched Lanier play 4 or 5 times. He's turned that team into passing team. They all are passing. Like, it's just they share the ball. They said he had 6 assists. I mean, that wasn't the case, but it's okay because my man did a great job. He can't get everything. It's hard to get. You're the only person doing the stats. It's hard to get every stat. Yeah. And so, but Shaw was special in the sense his presence. He has a presence on the floor, and again, those 6 rebounds were huge. Michael Brown was 7 for 7.
He played really well.
He played well after, he got in foul trouble early, didn't play the second quarter at all. and he played the rest of the game with really no more fouls.
He's the hero. I mean, he really controlled the paint in that game.
Oh God, yes, he does. And when him and Shaw are out there, they're really tough to beat because now you got two big guys who getting the rebound.
Right. On the offensive, and the other big guy's he doesn't clog the paint. I mean, like you said, he's more of a guard on offense and a rim protector on defense.
Yeah.
I know who won that game. I know I'm coming in late. Who won that game?
Lanier 64-48.
Wow. Pretty impressive win.
Yeah, the 8-3-3 is back, baby. And here's the thing. What people don't understand, Lanier has the most state championships out of any high school. And they have 17 state champions.
Crazy.
And Thomas Billups, the legendary coach, has 8 of those 17. Now you put Bo Clark, you add 1 to his list. And so then the kid, the MVP of the game, Demarion Edwards, he only had 11 points, but he came in the game early in the game and dominated. And
he changed the game early.
He sure did. He's the one. You're exactly right, Blake.
They were down. They checked him in, and then it was a show.
He went to work. He picked. It was almost like he hit the game winner to send them there, and he said, "Oh, I checked right back in the game, and here I go." His confidence was at a whole nother level. Because I've seen this kid play, and he always comes on. I call him a Vinnie Johnson type guy off the bench.
Okay, so here's my question to you, Coach Ev.
EV is not Ev, but go ahead.
EV.
we got to get that right.
Have you ever seen an MVP come off the bench in a state title game?
I'm sure they have, but I don't,
but none that you remember. Right?
No, I mean, it's funny you asked that question because I was sitting here thinking in my head when EV said the numbers. It's good to see the MVP go to. So often it's the person that scores the most points, but that doesn't necessarily mean that should be the best player of the game. I mean, the most valuable player.
Yep, he was the most valuable player, I would say. I mean, well, maybe you could say Shaw, number 11, was, but he changed the game early when it was hanging, and then they blew him out from that moment. He changed the game.
He only played 18 minutes. And Michael Brown led him with 14, but nobody, here's what's so great about Lanier. Joshua Washington, he had 8 points. Michael Brown, 14. Number 4, Shamar Moffitt had 5. Shaw had 6. Sicario Hamilton, number 22, had 11. Then number 5, Demarion Edwards had 11. Then Rodney Burrell, he hit a big 3. He had 9. He had a big layup. So here you got such balanced scoring. So all of those guys that played can walk away and say, man, I contributed in a state championship win. I had at some point I had a major part to play, in a championship win. And unfortunately, a couple of Raymonds, like Jabari Robinson, he had 19, and Marlon Kidd and Tremaine Dixon, who normally score a little bit for Raymond, didn't have great games. But
how many Tremaine Dixon had? How many points?
Tremaine Dixon was 2 for 14. He had 5 points.
He had an off night.
Yeah, he had an off night.
But I think I jinxed him because I say I had said live if he had a good game this game, then Jabari was gonna probably have one the next game. And to win the championship, you need everybody to kind of have a good game.
Yeah, because Jabari is the only one that had double figures with 21 and nobody else was close. But Tremaine Dixon, my hat's off to him. I got a chance to see him this year more than I have ever, watched him. And, and we talk about other point guards in the state and other people around this area. He doesn't get a lot of props, but he's another kid that's a coach's dream.
He can hoop. He a winner.
He's tough, hard-nosed, respectful young man. On Twitter, he said, hats off, congratulations to Lanier. Like, that's the type of guy you want like I have 3 daughters. Like, he's the type of guy, man, you can marry my daughter, dog, because of he's respectful, that type of thing, seriously, because
Nah, he high character for real. He a high character kid.
Yeah, and
The same thing with Choctaw. After the game, he was respectful. I mean, he understood, like, hey, we lost this game. It was fair and square. Thank you for playing. I'll be back next year.
yeah, and you have to think that they will be back.
Oh, yeah.
You guys talking about Tremaine Dixon?
Yeah,
Yep.
Tremaine Dixon. Do you know Tremaine too, Tricky?
Yeah, I know Tremaine and Jabari. I'm just kind of curious to hear something you see a lot. I think in today's basketball, high school in particular, is so much focus on these guys scoring the ball. I think sometimes when guys are having an off night like that, and I didn't see the game, so you guys can answer the question better, but I think they forget there's other ways you can contribute even when you have an off night, whether it's defense, rebounding, assisting the ball, assisting, getting your teams involved. Was he able to do any of that at all tonight?
I think so. I think he played defense as hard as he from the jump as when he was missing shots. And I appreciated him, not refusing shots, because if he would have refused shots, they weren't going to win anyways.
Right.
He had to keep shooting. I mean, there's no other option with that team. He had to keep firing them up there. But no, I think he still ran the offense. I don't know if it even makes a difference, to be honest, if he makes shots. I think Lanier was just a better team. I mean, that's my personal. I mean, I want to hear what everyone else thinks.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I heard too. Everybody just said Lanier just outplayed them. I mean, so it doesn't matter if he had a great game or not. I mean, they just said Lanier was the better team tonight. And sometimes,
yep, I agree.
Yeah, and I thought, like, to be honest with you, I just thought, honestly, I thought Lanier was the better team. Period. Like, they beat him the first time, they beat him the second time. I thought this was. And this was, the score is, it ended up being like a 14-point game. And it was, after that second quarter, it was like that, but it always felt closer, even though when they were up, I think, and this may sound crazy, when they were up 20, there was nobody in the gym was like, there was no Lanier fans clapping like, hey, it's over. Nobody was thinking that. They knew that Raymond had a run. Well, I know in my mind, that's what I was thinking, that Raymond is going to make a run. And they did. And it got a little, again, they turned the ball over 21 times.
Now, was that because of the pressure defense from Lanier, or was it because, I was about to ask if they were missing, if they couldn't hit shots, but it sounds like they couldn't take care of the basketball.
Well, Raymond had, Lanier had 21 turnovers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Raymond only had 9. That pressure from Raymond hurt them, but they were just down too far. And how you just get
open. They were missing open shots.
Right. Matter of fact, they cut it to 12 with a chance to cut it to 10. They didn't. And I'm going to be honest with you. And, I thought a key, and I'm a big fan of Tony Tadlock. I think Tony Tadlock is no doubt one of the best coaches in the state. I want to make that clear. But I thought he made, like, it was, and as fans, as coaches, as media, whatever you want, all of us, when you sit in that coach's seat, you're saying, critique me, question me. I mean, those things are happening. And so my question for Tony Tadlock would be, they're on a major run. They hit a shot. They cut it to 12. Crowd is going nuts. And Lanier is getting ready to call timeout. I see the coach's hand like this. No, I saw this. Jonas James got up and told Red, you got to get a timeout. I saw him do that. They're getting ready to call timeout. Lanier is, because the run, they just went on a 5-0 run. I don't know if you remember this, Blake. And Tony Tadlock calls timeout. And I'm like, why did you call timeout? Why did you call timeout? And from then, Lanier came back on. They hit a 3 and a 2 and got it back up to 17. And then, from there, they never came back. Do you remember that, Blake, or not?
I do, but I just don't think it would have made a difference. I think it's getting so technical into a game that just Lanier completely outplayed him. And
I agree with you.
But I understand what you're saying completely, EV. When you got your team's on the run, you don't stop your own momentum by calling timeout.
No, I get it.
Got
No,
to roll with that until the other team calls the timeout. Let them use their timeout to stop your momentum. I agree with you. Now, again, not seeing the game, but yeah, you can't do that as a coach when your team's rolling and coming back and getting in the game. But like Blake said, I don't know how much that would have impacted at the end, but I mean, you said it got cut to a 12-point game.
No, it didn't lose them the game. No, it's no question. It
How
was
much
just
time was left in the game at that point?
maybe 4 minutes. It was something like that. They wouldn't have. I don't know if they would have, like Blake said, it probably didn't have any impact on the game. I just remember it as something. You know how we do. You look at things, or some questionable things, or things, and you just say, "Oh man, why do you like you just like why?" And so that's all.
Every coach,
wasn't a thing.
every coach is different, but I agree with you, Evie. I wouldn't have called a timeout as a coach in that situation.
Yeah.
Hey, before I check out, we were going to talk private school ball for a minute.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
Greenville Christian MRA in the finals, and then I got MRA beating them.
Well,
I haven't seen Greenville all year. Are they that good? They're going to have I got them playing. They're going to be playing
JA at home.
Academy. That's where Holman goes to school. That's going to be a pretty good game. But I've never seen Greenville play. Are they that good?
Yeah, I think they're that good.
Really?
I think.
Yeah, they got one of your guys on there, don't they? The guy.
They're my favorite players in the state. But
What's
they're
his name?
DeAndre Smith Jr. DJ.
DJ. I never heard that name.
He was the quarterback. He was the quarterback for the Greenville Christian team, number 10. I don't know if you do football too.
No, I don't do the football as much.
Oh.
Okay.
He played on Greenwood last year, Greenwood Public.
Mm-hmm.
He was he won their 4A state title. He was the MVP of that team.
Who beat Raymond last year? He had 30 and 10.
Yeah.
And
he's their best player. He's their best player, but they had a kid that transferred from O'Bannon too that was like one of the best players on O'Bannon. I mean, they just got a bunch of transfers that came in that are good. They're pretty good. I think they beat JA for sure. And then I don't know who they play afterwards. To be honest,
my guess is they'll play Hartfield. Hartfield's got at least.
Hartfield's going to give them a game. Hartfield will give them a game. But I don't know how anyone beats MRA.
Well, I mean, the key to me for MRA is you got to try to slow down Josh Hubbard.
But they're deeper than that, don't you think?
I do think they're deeper than that, but I think he's the primary. He's the big offensive threat.
Would you ever do this? Would you ever do this? Shut down everyone else and make them get 60?
I mean, but you got to think you're not going to stop Phillip Hughes or Josh Hubbard. I mean, let's just be clear. You can't go.
I didn't say stop. There's a big difference. I said slow him down. And, I'm saying if he's averaging 25 points a game and you can keep him under 20, 17, 18,
you win.
That's a big difference.
That's a win.
Has he been under? Let me ask you this: has Josh Hubbard been under 20 in a private school game in Mississippi?
Oh yeah, Starkville Academy played them last year at home.
No, this year, Tricky. We're not talking about last year.
Oh, I thought you said since he's been playing private school ball.
No, for this year. I'm talking about this year.
That I do not know because I haven't seen. I couldn't answer that question, but I do know he has been stopped. I mean, not stopped, but held to under 20 before. Okay. But not. I can't answer it for this year.
Okay.
I want to watch this kid DJ Gardem. I'm really interested to see this. Now I mean that's one of the games I really want to see. I want to see Greenville Christian MRA. I think that Greenville Christian would have superior athletes on their team.
Well, Hartfield's got 2 D1s. I know Josh Lee is a really good. He's a really impressive player. And when they played SA in the championship game for state, they held him in pretty good contention the first half. I want to say he had maybe 6 points. He did get in foul trouble with 2 fouls early. Second half, he started to go off a little bit, maybe got 16 in the second half. But he's very explosive, and he's about 6'3", 6'4", kind of plays a combo guard. So he's a very good athlete. And then, of course, they got, I believe it's Lucas, that's about 6'10". He's pretty good in that paint, protecting the rim.
All right.
So that could make some challenges for anybody.
I got a question before I go to sleep, and then I'm out. All right, MRA. Let's say let's pretend MRA is the best private school. Would you agree?
Yeah, no question. I agree with that.
Everyone else?
I'm not going to agree because I haven't seen enough of the other ones, so I don't have enough information to say. I know they're good. I know MRA's tough.
I mean, you got to think. Hartsfield won 4A. They beat Hartsfield by 30 points.
Okay. Who'd you say?
MRA,
they beat Hartsfield by 30?
They beat them by, it was a blowout.
During the season?
Yeah, and they had both of the star players played, so you know.
Yeah.
Okay. That's information enough for me to agree.
So here's my question.
In private school ball, so.
Yeah. So here's my question.
Let me, before you say, Blake, I just want to just disagree because I'm gonna tell you who's gonna give who you're giving Hartfield, and I'm a Hartfield fan with John Lucas and Josh Lee myself, but Jackson Prep is a team that plays people really good. They do a good job of slowing the ball down and doing all like that and making them play their way. But anyway, go ahead, Blake.
All right. So my question would be, if we take all the champions of 1 through 6A in public, which teams does MRA beat and which teams beat MRA?
I think MRA wins for me, MRA wins.
Which divisions do they win?
1A, 2A, 3A.
Everybody but 4 through 6. They beat.
That's the same thing I said. Yeah.
Okay, so Lanier work? Does Lanier work them, or does Lanier just?
Yes. Lanier beats them by 20.
Okay. All right.
No question.
Have a good night.
Raymond beat Raymond. The good thing, Raymond beat them by 15.
Okay. All right. That was my question.
Yeah.
Raymond beat MRA by 15.
Yes, or 12, 15, that range. And Lanier, they don't. Lanier beats them by 20. Now, I was going to take my time with the one. Y'all just said 1, 2, and 3 like it was no question, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's that easy. I mean, who's like Coahoma County doesn't beat MRA?
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
not even close.
What about Biggersville?
No.
Okay, all right.
And then who was in 3A?
St. Andrews.
No
question. St. Andrews.
St. Andrews they'll probably give them a game.
I think that's a toss-up.
Yeah, that's a good game. I didn't even think St. Andrews. That's a good game. St. Andrews.
Absolutely.
All right.
But everybody
else, Blake, we'll see you, buddy.
4A, 5A. All right, but yeah.
Well, I can give you guys a rundown real quick of who's playing who, just so y'all know that. So Hartfield's going to be playing Jackson Prep. Hartfield actually had a bye first round. Then Jackson Prep came off of 65-31 win over Bowling Green. So
let's stop right there real quick. Well, go ahead, and we'll come back to it because I want to talk about that game. Okay.
Then you got Greenville, who beat Tri-County 69-36. And so that's a pretty big marginal win. But Tri-County they were like the 3rd seed out of a 3A division. So I think that it says Greenville's 2A. So that's the only thing I question a little bit about what Blake was saying, is that they're 2A.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're going to have to beat some higher division teams to be able to make it to the finals. Then in the next one, it was Delta Streets and JA, Jackson Academy beat them 69-50. So about a 20-point win there. So Greenville, I think that Greenville JA game is going to be a good one. On the other side of the bracket, you got Starkville Academy winning over St. Joe 61-54. I think Starkville Academy still getting out of that funk from losing the state championship. They actually beat St. Joe earlier in the season by 20. And they just didn't come out as aggressive in the very beginning, I think, at home as they have throughout the season. So hopefully we see them pick it up a little bit. They're going to have a tough one against Clinton Christian. Clinton Christian got some really good guards. A couple of guards I think were at your camp, Talante. One of the little guards with the mohawk, kind of short guard, has a mohawk. Cam something maybe.
He's Willie Alexander's son.
Yeah. He's a really good guard.
What's his name? Is it Trey? Is it Trey or not?
It might be. They got one named Trey. I know they got one guard named Trey.
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about his name is Trey. I know you're talking about. He's a freshman.
Okay, they've got 3 guards. From what I've been told, their backcourt is pretty tough. They got one that's really good, handles with the ball, can score the ball. Another one's a really good shooter. And then the guy that used to be considered the best player, now the 2 guard, if I'm not mistaken, has kind of blossomed toward the end of the season. So they got a really strong backcourt.
Is the name Kahari Sykes? Somebody just put in Kahari Sykes. Who's Kahari Sykes?
He may be one of the guards.
Okay.
For that team.
Sherrod Haggard says he's from Greenville, Mississippi, and he says Greenville Christian is for real.
Okay. Well, in all those games, the MRA, and I haven't got the MRA yet, but they put up 86 points. Clinton Christian put up 88 in their first win.
Starkville plays Clinton Christian.
Clinton Christian.
Who does MRA? When do they play that game?
MRA is going to play Christian College. I know nothing about Christian College. They were the 3 seed from 2A. They beat Riverdale Academy, which is a 1A team. Looks like 54-79. So Christian Collegiate put up 79 points, but again, it was a 1A team. So MRA should probably cruise through that win. Clinton Christian and Starkville Academy is going to be a really good game. I think Starkville Academy can pull that off. Starkville Academy has one of the things about Starkville Academy is they have great defense. They're a very good defensive team. It just depends on whether they're hitting shots or not. If they're hitting shots, they're tough to beat. And I think the other thing is, to a certain extent, they're underrated because they haven't gotten this far in tournaments and everything in years. But they have great coaching because Coach Ball, if I'm not mistaken, has won 5 or 6 state championships when he was he used to be either with Jackson Prep or Jackson Academy. I can't remember which one. So he actually used to coach at Mississippi State at one time with Coach Carter. They were assistant coaches at Mississippi State at the same time. So he's an excellent coach. So he's going to have a really good game plan going in. But that'll be a really good matchup. And I imagine the winner of that game will go on to play MRA.
Yeah, because MRA only had 3 losses. They got beat by the team from Tennessee, which is a very good team. They have a lot of good guys on that team. They got beat by Raymond. Of course, Raymond just made it to the championship, and I can't remember who the other loss was to, but they're 30-3. Trig, I know you was there. What happened in the championship game for you last week with Hartsfield and Starkville Academy?
Well, let me tell you this before I go into it. And that'd be great if they had everybody's record on here. That's probably something they need to do in the future, is to have the records, because that helps a little bit when you're talking about these teams. But Starkville Academy is 24-4 with their 4th loss being the state championship. So they were 24-3 going into they were 22-3 going into that state championship game. And 2 of those losses were public schools. They lost to DeSoto Central, I think by about a basket. And then they lost to East Webster about the same, by about a basket. And they were without their center.
They lost to East Webster?
Huh?
They lost to East Webster?
They lost that. They never should have lost that game. Even without their center, they still should have lost that game. That was probably their 2nd worst played game. But I think it was because they didn't have their
but I get them credit because Coach Gwynn is a great coach at East Webster too. So he
is a good coach. He really is a good coach. Yeah. And we played them there. But so their 2 losses out of the 3 were the public schools, and the other one was a 4-point loss at home to Heritage. Heritage is a pretty good team, but they're really young. So is Starkville Academy. They'll only lose 2 seniors this year, so they'll be back in the hunt next year. But what was your question, Talante? Oh, about the state championship game.
Yeah, what happened with the state championship game?
So the final score in that game was 45-20. And SA was like, I think they were like 6 for 33 or 34. They shot 15% from the field. But they held Hartfield to 45 points. So they just couldn't, their shooting was off that night. Part of it maybe, I think for two reasons. They were exhausted from the night before because they were in a dogfight with Simpson. Where they beat them 40-46. Trying to remember, I think it may even win in overtime. May have been an overtime win. And Simpson was actually the defending champions from last year. So that was a dogfight, and Hartfield actually, I think, won the previous game by about 25 or 30. So they didn't have a dogfight the night before. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing is they weren't able to hit shots that night. It wasn't Hartfield's defense. They had open looks and they just weren't falling. And we thought maybe into the second half that would change, and it continued. So, fought that at a bad shooting night. If they can shake that off and come back, like I said, tomorrow, that Clinton Christian on Saturday will be a good game. Here's something that's interesting is you got Starkville Academy playing Clinton Christian, and then you got Starkville High School playing Clinton.
Wow, that is interesting. And that's crazy because like probably 3 or 4 of those guys that's on Clinton Christian was supposed to play at Clinton High School. And
same thing with Starkville Academy. You got about 3 or 4 kids that could or should have been playing at Starkville High School.
Wow, that
it's gonna make for a fun Saturday. We plan on going to both games on Saturday. The Starkville Academy game will be at 4:30, and then the championship game for Starkville High School, I believe, is at 6 or 7.
7 o'clock.
Y'all gonna be pushing it, man.
We're gonna be cruising. We just lucked out, man. They're both in Jackson, so we definitely get to watch some good basketball that day.
Yeah, because that game against Clinton, where's the Clinton game gonna be at? MRA?
Yeah, no.
Is that Hartfield?
No, you're right. MRA. The Final Four be at Hartfield.
Okay. Well, whoever wins that game gets the giant. MRA.
Yeah.
Is there
like I
any,
said,
let me ask you this. Because Starkville, so let's not talk about Clinton Christian. Is there any way you guys can beat MRA?
Well, like I said, we played them good last year. And so the key will be we're going to play them good defensively. Josh Herbert's going to get his 20 points. But we can't let him hit 30 or 35. I really didn't think Hughes did that great of a standout job on us last year. Okay. I know it's a year difference and everybody improves over a year, but same thing with our guys, they've improved too. We have to have a good shooting night. If we can come out and hit threes, which to me has been the question mark for that team most of the year, is not consistently getting shots from the perimeter. And then we can contain them like we've done most of the year defensively, can not stop, but contain, keep their key scores in a reasonable range under 20. We can hang with them. But we're going to have to, the other thing is we got a decent amount of depth. Like we got about 3 guys that can come off the bench and we don't lose anything. I don't know how deep MRA is.
Yeah, well, they have another kid they got to, account for that we hadn't talked much about. He's 6'3", 6'4" kid, Harrison-Alexander.
Does he play in the middle?
I think he plays on the wing. I hadn't seen, but he's a kid.
Is it Harrison-Alexander?
Yeah, that's what I said, Harrison-Alexander. Yeah, he's a pretty. I think he'll be
22 tonight. I think.
Huh?
I think I seen he had 22 tonight. Or was that last night where they played? It was one of the nights.
Yeah, they played last night.
Yeah, they got the big 3 going, and they just know how, and then not only that, they probably arguably have one of the greatest coaches, you would have to say Deweese would you have to say he's a top 10 coach in Mississippi history?
Nah, he's top he a top 10 coach probably for high school, like in general. He got like what 11, almost 1,100 wins.
Yeah.
That's MRA's coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to talk about, so you're talking about, that's a great point, Talanta. You're talking about he's top 10 maybe in the country of all time. And so.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive. Well, yeah. I'm sure that him and Coach Ball have gone head to head many times, especially with Coach Ball coming from Jackson himself.
Oh,
so,
yeah. That's a question they have.
I'm sure they know each other pretty well. So that'll be interesting. But obviously we got to put in work and get past Clinton Christian first. But that could make for a good game. It really could make for a good game, MRA and Starkville Academy.
Yeah, well, MRA, I will be there. I know I'll be there next week for the Final Four. That's on Monday and Tuesday of next week, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
MRA, I'll say MRA did beat a really good team in Simpson Academy. Simpson Academy's got a guard, number 1. This guy plays like a Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he had a mid-range game that was very impressive. I mean, in the first 5 to 6 minutes, he put up about 8 points. And like he was taking turns going from elbow to elbow, pulling up jump shots. And I mean the old school jump shots where you elevate and shoot over top of the defender. I mean, the kid's probably only about 5. He might have been 5'11". So he was pretty impressive. We shut him down second half, and that changed the game.
Before we close, I want to share, one of our sponsors obviously is Tatum and Wade Law Firm, located at 124 East Meade Street, Jackson, Mississippi. I'm glad you know that, Talante.
I heard it so many times. Now it's programmed in my head.
They're serious lawyers who get serious results. But what do I say?
If you want to get paid, go to Tatum and Wade.
There you go. But also today, I'm drinking Unify Health Multi GI5 vitamin. This is a company that's owned by Randy Jackson. And if you have leaky gut, this will help you, with your leaky gut. And so
you say leaky butt or leaky gut?
Leaky gut.
Sorry about that. I had to. It was primed and waiting for me to say.
Yeah, that was. And so Randy Jackson, it's helped him. So I figured I need to be drinking some of this too. And I'll be honest with you, I've been drinking it, doing a little bit of it for about 30 days now. And it's got some benefits. My stomach don't hurt as much as, it's doing some stuff in there. And it's slimming it down just, inch by inch. It's just taking longer. I didn't get all this in 30 days. So it's going to take me a little bit longer. But I just want to let you guys know, get you some Unity Health here, buddy. Everybody don't look like Tricky, like just like a bodybuilder cut up.
Hey, I'm falling apart slowly but surely. I think I'm gonna have to give me some of that leaky gut. Stop leaky gut drink. So
yeah, and Delonte just young, but he
that's right.
Better stay in shape there, buddy. Better keep running.
He ain't got these old man problems yet.
No. Well, anyway, man, guys, I appreciate it. I don't know if we got anything else, man. We'll come on tomorrow. Another good day. What do we got tomorrow, Talante? 3A and 5A?
3A and 5A.
Oh.
Yeah, no, not 3A and 5A. It's 2A and 5A. 3A plays with 6A on Saturday.
That's right. So we got Coahoma County. I know that's one of the games. On the boys,
Newton, and who was the girl game? I can't remember.
Is it Newton?
Is it Calhoun City versus
New Site?
New Site. Calhoun City versus New Site.
So that's gonna be that'd be a good one. And then the 5A, we got that Lake Cormorant.
You got Holmes County the girls versus
Holmes County
versus Laura, and then we got Holmes County versus Lake Cormorant. So Holmes County probably gonna be deep in that tomorrow. Back-to-back games. It's probably gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and they have some legit fans. So
yeah, they do. So I can expect it to be loud and just loud.
Yeah. Hey, EV, are you going to be continuing doing some of the podcasts and covering some of the AAU ball once high school ball's over?
Absolutely. We're going to try to figure that out. and try to do some live streaming and stuff like that. So we just I've been trying to talk with tournament directors and, you know, and even organizations like yourself. I'll get with you and talk to you about that. But we're going to definitely try to, you know, put something like that together.
We're going to be having our tryouts this Sunday. I tried to get a hold of you earlier. I wanted to make sure it was okay. I put that out there, but
yeah, that's cool.
We'll be having Starkville Swish. Starkville Swish will be having their 17U tryouts this Sunday at West Point. If anybody wants to reach out to me, you can just simply give me a buzz, 859-221-4959, and I can give you more details on that.
Okay, what's that phone number again? You always want to repeat it twice.
Area code 859-221-4959. Starkville Swish 17U tryouts. Unsigned seniors welcome.
And you know what? That's where Gavin Brinker, I know where I first saw the great Gavin Brinker play for this man right here, Tricky. And then Kylan Bag is another one I saw play, you know.
Got some good guys.
Talante, you got any final words? Any last geeks?
Absolutely not. I'm just ready to get to Jackson tomorrow and catch some of these championship games. I've been missing it all week. I wish it was in Starkville so we can just be like right down the street.
I'm kind of tired of you saying that.
We didn't get lucky.
Did either one of you guys watch that Ingomar game? I mean, well, I guess you watched it, Talante. I saw your tweets.
Nah, I wasn't there.
I was there. I've been there every day, all day. You know, so
that's unbelievable, man. I saw Talante's tweet about them losing the same way they won it last year. That's a heartbreaker.
That's tough.
Cam Smith from Biggersville. Matter of fact, I think they said it was on ESPN as a top play.
Oh,
really?
I know. Zach Sugars made it last year, so
last year,
right.
Sure did. Sure did.
So that's awesome. So,
who did y'all have champions? Who did y'all have winning at 6A on Saturday?
I'm gonna stick with Clinton.
I'm going with Starkville.
Yeah, Starkville came back second half, had a pretty impressive. I mean, they had three guys with 20 plus points. Well,
if they shoot like they shot, if they shoot like they shot yesterday, it's gonna be over.
Ooh, yeah. It's gonna be ugly, but they ain't gonna shoot like that against Clinton. You know, one thing about Clinton defends.
Hey, Starkville defend, baby. You know what's up.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it though. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a pretty good game. I think all these last couple of games, like today, I think all of them gonna be pretty good games. You know, well, today was really the first time we got a blowout with the Raymond Lanier game. So I thought that game would have been a lot closer. I thought Raymond would have aired them out, but that was the first blowout of the week, right? Well, one of the second. We haven't had a lot of blowouts.
Well, we've had I maybe had two in this semi. I'm trying to think who, but even though tonight I really wouldn't call it a blowout, but it was more than 15. It was right around 15, but it was like it always felt like
Raymond was right.
Yeah, they were right there. It was never, you never felt like nobody was sitting back in that chair like, you know, on the phone texting or just like, no, it wasn't that. Everybody was like, ooh, are they finna run here? Are they, you know, and then, you know, Cortez Shaw is down, he's out. You know, he got called for his fourth foul, which I didn't think was I thought it was a bad call, but he couldn't get back up, and he stayed down for a while. And you know, again, give Lanier credit there too, because here's their leader got hurt. He tried to walk it off, but he couldn't get back in that game.
Is that Magic?
That's Magic. Yeah, you got it.
Okay. I was going to ask you how Magic did.
He did. He did like Magic do. I dime you. I'm Cortez Shaw.
I still got that highlight coming for you. I'm just ain't finished it up yet.
Now, granted, I think the 5A game tomorrow is the game that's going to be the most intriguing because you don't know how neither one of the teams is going to come out and play. Like we know how Starkville going to come out and play, but we don't know how Lake Comerant versus Home County matchup is going. You know what I'm saying? Actually play out. So I think that's going to probably be the most intriguing game of the weekend because you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Just from looking at them, because the styles are kind of similar because both of them defend really well, and you just.
I'm leaning towards Holmes County on that. Because they've been there a couple times, haven't they?
Nah, this is their first one too.
It is their first one.
Yeah, both of them got a chance at their first championship. I'm going with Holmes County.
But I'm saying when I say they've been there, I mean like kind of deep into the playoffs.
Nope, they got beat.
They haven't.
Both teams got beat by Callaway last year on their way to the championship. Both teams back to back week.
You know.
Okay. Well, which one got beat first?
Holmes County.
Holmes County did. Okay.
No, Callaway. I'm not Callaway. I'm tripping. Lake Comer got beat first, and then they beat
Holmes County.
Holmes County the next week.
Okay.
But this year,
that'd be a good one.
I think it's gonna be interesting. I really don't know who's gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Look, I want to go with since we went with Lanier being like a destiny team, I want to go with Lake Comer just because you know what I'm saying. They beat some, you know what I'm saying. They beat Callaway, you know. So
when is that game?
That game tomorrow at 7. But like I said, I think it's a toss-up game. I think if you flip a quarter, you know what I'm saying, whoever you pick, whoever you land on, you can ride with. I think it's gonna be a really good game tomorrow night.
Yeah, and again, as we always say as we close, man, hats off to all the winners, and you know, all of you guys are winners in our book. And just if you lost the championship, man, remember this, come back and go at it harder for next year. That's all you can do. You know, I like what Gavin Brinker said the other day. He said, hey, you know, his mom said we ain't crying over this loss no more. We're back in the gym. So that's what it should be. That's what it should be all about. You know, it's time to, you know, cry, get it over with, take you a few days off. I'm cool with that. You know, maybe take you a week off if you want. And then now we got
the grind, man.
Huh?
They got to get back to the grind.
Yeah, because AAU is right here, you know. And then this has been a year where it ain't like everybody ain't had long seasons. You know, you got to think about it. Some people, I think Coleman County is 8-2.
Yeah, a lot of canceled games.
Coleman County's only played 10 games.
Now, Grant, which one of the girls team? Because some of the girls team played a lot of games. I think one team had played like almost 30 games already this year.
I know Pontotoc is just.
I think it was Pontotoc. It was Pontotoc. So I mean, they got their games in.
Wow, Kyle Hurd. Now he got it done, man. And you know what? It paid off in the end.
Oh yeah, because it's their first championship too, right?
Huh?
It's their first one.
Yep, I think so.
One. And then we can just talk about like how many programs actually had 2 teams that actually make it this far, like Pontotoc, Holmes County. Who else had made it? Was it
Ingomar?
Ingomar. I think Biggersville did too. Didn't Biggersville girls make it, or was it New Biggersville? I think Biggersville girls made it too. So you had a lot of teams that actually had both programs to make it, which I think is a great feat in itself as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
2 programs to the semifinal or state championship. So that's big in itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. For Talante Weber, Tricky Jackson, I'm EV, the Geeker, saying